Today we will discuss the first chapter, 9th class geography, that is the size and location of India. So before we move on to the chapter, the whole of your 9th class is based on the geography of India. So we will discuss the same topics whatever you have studied in lower classes, but here the depth will be more when compared to your lower classes. Okay, now we will start with the location of India. India lies in the northern hemisphere. The Tropic of Cancer divides India into two halves. The lower half will have tropical climate and the upper half will have temperate type of climate. So if you look at the India map, we can see the extension of north and south in kilometers. That is the longitudinal and latitudinal extension, which you have already studied in 7th class. The line which crosses here is the Tropic of Cancer, and it crosses Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura and Mizoram. So these states fall on the Tropic of Cancer that runs through the northern hemisphere at 23.5 degree north. This one divides India into two halves, as I already said. The southernmost part of India is Indira Point of the Indian Union is the Indira Point, but it was submerged in 2004 tsunami. So this tsunami widely spread damage to India, Sri Lanka and some of the Southeast Asian countries, and this tsunami came in the Sumatra region. So next, India is the southward extension of the Asian continent. The Deccan Peninsula that protrudes into Indian Ocean helps India to have close trade contacts with West Asia, Africa and Europe from the western coast, and with the Southeast and East Asia from the eastern coast. So India in the last 5 decades, it has achieved tremendous progress in the field of agriculture, industry and overall economic development. India is bounded by Engfold Mountains in the northwest, north and northeast. That is, the Himalayas spread from the Jammu and Kashmir up to northeast region of our country. So now we will look at the total area. The total area of our country is 3.28 square kilometers. Of the total world land area available, India counts for about 2.4% of the total land area. And our country, India, it is the 7th largest country in the world. The first being Russia, the second Canada, third one US, then fourth China, fifth Brazil, sixth Australia, and then comes the 7th one, India. So Brazil is not only the largest country, 5th largest country, but it is also the 5th largest populated country in the world. Next, the latitude extends between 8 degree 4 minutes north and 37 degree 6 minutes north, and the longitudes lie between 68 degree 7 minutes east up to 97 degree 25 minutes east. Next, we will move on to the population of our country. The population of India, that is, India is said to be the second populated country next to China. So India is sharing the land boundary with 7 countries. The coastal states being Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Orissa. The total land boundary of India with 7 countries, that is Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, is 15,200 kilometers. After about south of 22 degree north latitude, it begins to taper and extends towards the Indian Ocean. which is divided into two, that is Arabian Sea on the west and Bay of Bengal on the east. The latitudinal and, as I already said, the latitudinal and longitudinal extent of the mainland is about 30 degrees. The whole earth is divided into 24 time zones and the earth rotates one complete rotation in one day, and if you divide 24 hours with 360 degree, that in every 15 degree the earth moves about 1 hour. So this latitudinal extent means there is a time gap of 2 hours from east to west. So moving on to Gujarat, the westernmost part of our country, to the easternmost edge of Arunachal Pradesh, you have a time lag of 2 hours. However, to standardize the time in India, we follow the time zone Indian Standard Time, and that is 82 degree 30 minutes east, and it crosses Mirzapur in Uttar Pradesh. So next, if you look at the India map, you can clearly see that the reason why, that is the east-west portion, appears to be smaller than this north-south extension. So the reason behind is all the longitudes are equal, but they converge towards the poles. So as we move from equator up to the poles, the gap between the two longitudes goes on decreasing. So that is why the east-west portion appears to be smaller than the north-south extension. So next is that India has the largest coastline when compared to other countries, and it is the only country after which you have an ocean being named, that is, so you have Indian Ocean being named after India. Then the Arabian Sea in the west, Bay of Bengal in the east, and this Indian Ocean in the south, all these three oceans meet at a particular point which is called Kanyakumari or Cape Comorin. Cape Comorin was the older name for Kanyakumari. We have Lakshadweep Island in Arabian Sea and Andaman and Nicobar Island in Bay of Bengal. Andaman and Nicobar Island, it comprises of two island groups. That is, one is Andaman and the other one is Nicobar. So the northern ones are called the Andamans and the southern ones are called the Nicobars. The capital of Andaman and Nicobar is Port Blair. Then you have this Lakshadweep Island on the Arabian Sea and the capital is Kavaratti. These both the islands are also union territories. You also have the union territory of Pondicherry on the east, and in the western side, you can find the union territories of Daman Diu, Datra, Nagar Haveli, etc. So we also have other two union territories such as Delhi, Chhattisgarh. So at present there are totally 29 states and 7 union territories. So the recent state that has been found is Telangana, that is separated from Andhra Pradesh. So Uttarakhand, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, all these three states are found in the year 2000. So why India's location is strategically important? So because previously, while traveling from Europe to India, we had a very long route. So which is clear from the world map. If you look at the world map, it is clear that the route is very long from Europe to India. So after the discovery of Suez Canal, the route decreased by nearly 7,000 kilometers. So as a result, trade with India also increased. However, India has numerous historical ties. So we start with Upanishads, Ramayana, Panchatantra, which are popular throughout the world. The next is the Indian numeral system, the decimal system, the concept of zero. that India invented, and it was also globally accepted. Next, India is also famous for spices and muslin that has been exported to different countries. Now, India is trying to incorporate tie-ups with foreign countries, and you have sculptures from Greece and domes and minerals from West Asia which were visible in India during that time. The smallest state of India is Goa and the largest state is Rajasthan. Next, the least populated state of our country is Sikkim, and the most populated state is Uttar Pradesh, that is UP. Then Pakistan bordering with Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Rajasthan and Gujarat towards the north. Then we have China bordering with Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh. And you also have Nepal bordering with Bihar, UP, that is Uttar Pradesh, Sikkim and West Bengal. Similarly, there are also other nations which border with the states of our country. So, now we have the southern neighboring countries of Sri Lanka and Maldives. So, these Sri Lanka is separated from India by a narrow channel of sea formed by Park Strait. So, what is a strait? The strait is nothing but the link that connects the two types of water bodies. Maldives are situated on the southern part of Lakshadweep Island. Then finally, so before 1947, there were two types of states commonly found in our country. That is, one is the provinces and other one is the princely states. So what are provinces? The provinces are the states that are under the direct control of Britishers, and princely states are those which are locally ruled by, that is ruled locally by the rulers. So since the provinces are directly under British control, as a result, the Viceroy appointed is also a British official. So with this, we come to the end of this chapter. So now we will have a, so after this, now we will have a recap of the whole thing what we have studied. So finally, I will be giving you from some questions for home assignments. So I have covered everything in this chapter, I think. So I think it would be clear to you too. So you just have a glance of it, and now I will have a recap of everything. So you listen properly. I'll read from the book everything. Then you note down the assignments at the end of this chapter and answer it, children. So I have framed some easy questions only. So only from the book and what I taught. Okay, now we will move on to the recap of this chapter. So now we will have a recap of the chapter, that is India's size and location. So India is one of the ancient civilized country in the world. It has achieved tremendous progress in the fields of agriculture, industry, technology and overall development for the past, that is during the last 5 decades. So India has also contributed significantly to the making of world history. Now we also discussed about the location. So India is a vast country. It lies entirely in the northern hemisphere. So the mainland extends between latitudes 8 degrees 4 minutes north and 37 degrees 6 minutes north, and longitude 68 degree 7 minutes east and 97 degree 25 minutes east. So the Tropic of Cancer, this also we discussed that it divides India into almost 2 equal parts. So to the southeast and southwest of the mainland lies the Andaman and Nicobar Islands and the Lakshadweep Islands in Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea respectively. Next, we saw the size, that is the landmass of India has an area of 3.28 million square kilometer. India's total area accounts for about 2.4% of the total geographical area of the world. Then India is considered as the 7th largest country of the world. So it is clear from this picture. India has a land boundary of about 15,200 kilometers, and the total length of the coastline of the mainland, including the Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep, is, that is including this, is 7,516 kilometers. India is bounded by the Engfold Mountains, that is Himalayas in the northwest, north and northeast. Then the south of about 22° north latitude, it begins to taper and extends towards the Indian Ocean, dividing it into two seas, that is the Arabian Sea on the west and the Bay of Bengal on the east. So if you look at this figure, you can note that the latitude, that is, if you look at this figure, the latitudinal and longitudinal extent of the mainland is about 30°. Then from Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, that is from Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, there is a time lag of 2 hours. Hence the time along the standard time meridian of India, that is 82° 30 minutes east, passing through the Mirzapur in Uttar Pradesh, is taken as the standard time for the whole country. The latitudinal extent influences the duration of day and night as one moves from south to north. Then we discussed that the Indian landmass has a central location between the East and the West Asia. India is a southward extension of the Asian continent. The Trans-Indian Ocean routes which connect the countries of Europe in the west and the countries of East Asia provide a strategic central location to India. So the Deccan Peninsula protrudes into the Indian Ocean, thus helping India to establish close trade contacts with West Asia, Africa and Europe from the western coast and with the Southeast and East Asia from the eastern coast. So no other country has a long coastline on the Indian Ocean as India has, and indeed it is India's eminent position in the Indian Ocean which justifies the naming of an ocean after it. That is, the name of Indian Ocean is being named after India. So that is also our prestige. So India's contacts with the world have continued through ages, but her relationships through the land routes are much older than her maritime contacts. That is, when compared to the maritime contacts, that is through sea. What is maritime? Through sea. So this has got importance. The land routes is, so the land routes, the relation through the land routes, it was much older than when compared to the maritime contacts. So the various passes across the mountains in the north have provided passages to the ancient travelers. So while the oceans restricted such interaction for a long time. So these routes have contributed in the exchange of ideas and commodities, and since ancient times, ideas of the Upanishads and the Ramayana, this also we discussed the stories of Panchatantra, the Indian numerals and the decimal system. So thus could reach many parts of the world. So the spices, muslin and other merchandise, it was also taken from India to different parts of other countries. So on the other hand, the influence of Greek sculpture and the architectural styles of dome and minerals from West Asia can be seen in different parts of our country. So India also shares its land boundaries. So with Pakistan and Afghanistan in the northwest, and China, Tibet, Nepal and Bhutan in the north, and Myanmar and Bangladesh in the east. So our southern neighbors across the sea consists of two island countries, namely, so what are they? One is Sri Lanka and the other one is Maldives. So this Sri Lanka, as we saw that it was separated from India by a narrow channel of sea formed by Park Strait. So if you look at the figure, it is clear, and the Gulf of Mannar. While Maldives Islands are situated to the south of the Lakshadweep Island. So here is the Maldives. Then India had a strong geographical and historical links with her neighbors. So if you look at this figure, the physical map of Asia, then in your atlas, if you see, you can note all these rest of the things. So now it is clear that the size and location of India, I think you would have understood everything from my explanation. Now I will be giving you some home assignments so that you can do it. So it will be very easy, children. So try to complete the home assignments. So now we will move on to the home assignment. Now I will read it for you, but you will be getting it separately. So now I will just read it. First Roman letter, fill in the blanks. That is the total geographical area of India is dash. Then dash is the Engfold Mountains that stretch over the northern borders of India. Sri Lanka is separated from India by a narrow channel of sea formed by dash. So India is the dash largest country of the world. India has a land boundary of about dash. Next, answer in one word. What divides India into almost two equal parts? Which is the smallest state of India? Which is the least populated state of India? The next question, what is the southernmost point of the Indian Ocean? That is Indian Union. Sorry. How many states are there in India? So, then we will move on to the answer the following. Third Roman letter. Name the group of islands lying in the Arabian Sea. Then next one, name the countries which are larger than India. Name the southern neighboring countries of India. Name the states through which the Tropic of Cancer passes through. Why is India called a peninsula? So all these questions, whatever we have discussed so far, the answers are there. So you can make a note of it and you can refer the book also and find the answers and do this assignment, children. So before we complete the chapter, we will move on to looking at some important key points. So here, this also we saw that the invention of Suez Canal in 1869. So because of that travelling route from Europe to India, it became very easy and the distance has been reduced to nearly 7,000 kilometers. So this one I explained for you. Then why this thing has been selected as the standard meridian, that also we discussed. Then the how many number of union territories are there, and what is the largest state and what is the smallest state, and four groups, that is the sea routes, everything we have discussed, and the boundaries also we have discussed. So with this I am ending this chapter. Thank you, children.